Good morning, Southwest Florida, and welcome to the American Tradesman Show with my guest, Gerald Prevet from B&K Water Extraction and Mold Services. Good morning, Gerald.
Good morning.
And Mr. Brian Prevet is gone from Prevet Plumbing today. He couldn't get up, had to go running. Didn't he have to, Gerald?
Something.
He had to go jogging, I think. Was he
Something.
jogging?
I don't know.
I know he's on a diet, he told me the other day.
I think we're all on a diet right now.
Yeah, seafood. And my good buddy, Juan Silva from American Electrical. Good morning, Juan.
Good morning.
Yeah, we're all on a diet today, ain't we, Gerald?
No.
No, not Gerald. Well, Juan,
It's that COVID diet.
it's a seafood diet. I keep saying seafood. Any seafood that I see, we be eating, right?
That's it.
Or Cadbury's for Brian. That's the only thing I can. Well, good morning, Southwest Florida, and we're just going to bring up a little bit about the COVID. It's sounding like everybody's getting back to work, right, Gerald?
Thank the
Yeah.
Lord.
Thank the Lord. I mean, I'm not sure what that does for some of the schools that are graduating and some of the things that just never got to be done this year. But, you know, my hearts go out to them and some of the people that are still, I mean, like Juan himself and his family, dealing with some of the things that the repercussions of COVID. Mm-hmm. So my prayers go out to all the people out there still dealing with it. They do say that Immokalee is one of the hot spots for the
it is.
COVID. And that's kind of a scary situation to know that out there is not a lot of attention to this, obviously, virus. And it's scary for me to say this, but, you know, we have to, as Collier County and obviously Southwest Florida, has to advise themselves to try to kind of help out in Immokalee and not so much as Naples anymore, right?
Yeah, you know, we just got to help out, you know, the farm workers out there and, you know, the local residents out in Immokalee and just try to get them all tested and, you know, and just help them out there on what they may need.
Yeah, I can say that, you know, some of the people out there, if you want to donate some time out there and some money, just get out there to the Immokalee Hospital and actually right where Juan, his wife's working at. Some of the things that you can do out there to help Immokalee, because I can say that it is a very hard situation for some of them that are scared probably not to even go get, you know, some kind of treatment and then to find out that they got an even worse situation.
Yeah, it's about awareness. Now that we're in second phase, and, you know, it's about awareness just to make sure that if you're infected or not, you know, and just be conscious about it.
Yeah, it's important to understand that we all still have to be, some of the things that's going on is to be safe, you know, protect your own self. I mean, it is still there. It is not going away. And as you can see, some of the cases are starting to escalate even higher again.
Yeah, I think I think thinking about it now, you know, it's just, this is something that we're going to have to deal with and work with and change our lifestyles until a vaccine can be, you know, produced.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's scary that we have not found something to, I mean, cure some of this issues. And I hear so many things. I said earlier off the air that I'm really not the guy right now wanting to listen to too much of the news, right, Gerald? I mean,
Yeah, I'm kind of just,
it's sad.
yeah.
Not to say I'm not going to get politically and publicize some of the things that's going around the country right now, from riots to, you know, I don't know if you want to call them parades, but I mean, again, I understand the concept. I understand the situation that some people get into, and I do say that, I mean, sometimes, I mean, the police department is in a position where they got just too many things to deal with, and then something like this puts them in a different mindset to get there. And one of the things I always used to say is that, you know, you never know where that police officer was at just before that call.
True.
And that part is a part that some people don't realize. It could have been as simple as a domestic violence to just a fight in the street, and the police officer would have had to deal with that. And that part right there is some of the things that people don't understand. And a guy shows up, and he's already 50 sheets into his own mind to try to deal with something else. Now, I'm not agreeing with any of the things that's happened. I do agree with peaceful demonstrations. Peaceful. That's a different story than, you know, aggressive looting and the things that just don't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, to kind of clarify what Anthony's trying to say is that, you know, being a police officer, first responder, is just a lot of pressure in itself. You know, we have no idea what they're responded to prior to, you know, a traffic stop or whatever the case may be, you know, and we're all human at the end of the day, and it's just being polite and respecting the authority and respecting the officer, you know, and just and just do what he asks, and make it easy and a smooth, transaction between the both of you.
I understand, like I said, on both sides of the law and as a private citizen. I myself have seen that situation, and I will tell you that, I think about it differently in my own side after seeing it. And it's something in the, I guess you could say, in their opinion, is that they may be being picked on for it. But I will say that the law is the law. And if we didn't have the law, it wouldn't be no reason to be alive, right? I mean,
It'd be the wild, wild west right now.
That's right. So I guess, Gerald, you could carry a couple guns with you and just watch yourself.
Yeah.
And
Regulator.
Mount up, baby, mount up. So I don't want to talk too much about, what's going on in the country. I do say we still do have the best man at the job, Trump 2020, right?
Yep, and and us here and the American Tradesman panel, we're with Trump on saying we want to promote good. We want to promote the positive things and not look at the negative.
Yeah, it's important for everybody to understand. The political side for my show and this panel is not to talk about what the politics are about, because I'm not that person. I've learned a long time ago politics and religion don't mix.
No.
And I can tell you that, I am on the side of the blue, and I am on the side of the people that are the right. It's an equal amount, but we also have to respect the law, period. Gerald, COVID's almost over, I guess, right? Because we've forgotten about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've forgotten about it, but everybody else is forgetting about it and rioting and standing next to each other. So I guess it's over.
Well,
So,
they do have their mask.
Yeah, I'm not sure that matters if we're sweating and topping hands. Does that
I
matter?
don't think the mask was for protection,
Yeah,
except for identities.
that's right. You don't see me, I don't see you. But, the COVID is something still out there, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely want you guys to keep abreast of what's happening and to stay safe and to keep your distances when you are. And then also some of the things we've been promoting over the last few weeks for the COVID is, some of the things that, B&K do over there. The fog machine is something that you have to really deal with, right?
Yeah, fogging, duct work, and the ozone machine, as well as cleaning the air that's in there. Still a lot of people asking about it and getting it done. So
Get on the list.
that's it.
Get on the list, because I would tell you right now, the summertime is coming into play. Your air conditioning needs serviced. When your air conditioning needs to be serviced, I would suggest highly to run in this ozone machine. I would suggest highly to run this fog machine, because you're running into the most hottest times. And I got to tell you, it's been hot.
Oh yeah.
The more your air runs, the more moisture is produced. The more moisture produced, the more possibilities you have for microbials and fungi and who knows what else.
Well, like I said, every week we kind of talk about some of the things that's going around for air quality, the ozone machine, the fogger machine. Those are things that are important for people to understand, that I would suggest highly to call, Gerald over at B&K Water Extraction and Mold Services. What's that phone number, Gerald?
239-398-9834.
9834. Give Gerald a call. They have opportunities for you to get into scheduling. They're backing up probably about 2 weeks now, getting into summer, but it would be best to get on their calendar so that you can get that done to your service, because it's important to know there is nothing in the world that you spray into a ductwork and suck it up that's going to clean it, right?
Yeah.
So use that, ozone machine, use the fogger, and you'll clean up 90%, 98% of the problems, right?
Yeah.
So, Gerald, today you want to talk about something funny that we talked about a few weeks ago, was that liner that went inside the piping. Just didn't work out for you guys.
Yeah, so we spoke several weeks ago about lining cast iron pipes, and the pros and cons, mostly cons about it. We let you know that we'd estimated out. The young lady had had somebody else come in and just line the pipes. I went by there going to another job, and of course now she's got her pavers pulled from her driveway and a long trench dug where, as you know, the main line doesn't feed it has a lateral coming off of it for the island sink, but evidently something happened there and it could not function into the main line. So now she's having a line dug from the kitchen sink all the way over to the main outside in the driveway. So all the pavers for the driveway and the front door area walkway are now, pulled up, areas getting dug up. And people, I just want you to realize that, a quick, easy fix is not always the best fix, because one of the things that we told her was she was going to have a new line brought out and dropped in for that kitchen, as well as the other ones brought out. Now she has this main line that's been lined. Nothing else can be done to that. So, that's it. I mean, you're as far as you can go with that main line. Anything else now, you have to abandon that and start over. And that's something that, you really have to weigh your options, do your research. She got, word from a neighbor, hey, I had this done. It's great. But that was not the case for her. And that liner is a permanent solution.
A lot of times people are, easy to get something fixed, inexpensively. And then in the long run, we know this one, we end up, doing it the right way for a lot more.
Yeah. And I have that happen quite often too. You'll lose a quote because you're significantly higher, but I'm not going to cut corners and try to beat a quote if it's going to be done the right way, so I don't have a callback.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it's kind of hard because, when the client ends up putting good money in front of bad, but at the end of the day, it's their decision. But we're always here to kind of guide them when the situation arises that it did not work out.
A lot of times, like I said, over the years, I've noticed that I as well as Gerald and Brian and Juan, have known we've given estimates out based on what we really think is the right way. And a lot of times, we don't get the job. And it's based on because we were higher. I'm always the fan to say I don't want to be the highest guy, but I don't want to be the lowest guy. And a lot of times we're in the middle.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people think, well, you were in the middle, so something must have been wrong. So I just took the lowest bid.
And really, that's the key thing, is to get multiple bids. I'm not saying, somebody come out, take my word for everything and use my bid. Get multiple bids. See what people are going to bid out and how they are going to step-by-step complete your job. Ask questions. That's your biggest thing. Some people say, well, I don't know anything about it. You really don't. A lot of this is just, common sense stuff about how it's going to be done. But these are questions you need to ask, because like Juan said, you don't want to throw good money in front of bad money. So many times, I have several people who we work with that are home inspectors, and they'll give us a call for things, and then I have people saying, well, I just bought this place, I had it inspected, but now I'm finding this. One of the things that, even some of my home inspector friends can tell you, because we ourselves have a home inspection license, they are not going to send a camera down a sewer line. I just went the other day, this lady was moving in, and her second day there. And the first day was spent moving all the stuff. Second day, they spent the overnight. Second day there, wham, the whole house backs up. And, she's got a whole house back up. And I open up the clean out cap, and it's standing full of water. So that means out there in the yard. And there's no trees in the yard. So who knows what may have went wrong with this, but here, that's something that, she's going to have to deal with, and she's 2 days into a brand new house. Nobody wants that kind of thing. So if you're buying somewhere, or if you have any, questions about things, don't forget to bring in your licensed contractors to do that. If you're getting a home and you wondered about the electrical, you wondered about the AC, you wonder about, the general structure of the home or the plumbing, call out a licensed contractor. A lot of times it may cost nothing or just a very minimal for them to come and inspect that and look at it. But you're going to have an idea as to what's going on with that place and what you have for negotiations on your closing price.
I think that one of the biggest mistakes that I see happen a lot too is, they just look at, oh, well, the roof was placed, 5 years ago. Oh, the AC was placed 3 years ago. You don't know what happens between that time frame. It should always be inspected.
Yeah, a lot of things that happen, from any side of this is that, some things for this liner type repair is not really probably the best solution.
No.
And I realized that probably my own self years ago when I watched it happen on condo. And then they ended up having to repipe the whole system after they cut it. I mean, after they lined it. And, you're talking thousands of dollars, not hundreds of dollars. So if the audience is listening out there and you do have, I guess you could say backups now, right? Because COVID has made you put a lot of toilet paper down the toilet. I would suggest highly to get somebody out there to maybe do a camera, right, Gerald? And to run that, snake through there. It's not going to hurt you, but it definitely will give you, the peace of mind to understand that you've had somebody look at the camera. Rainy season's coming up. This is when pipes start to back up because water starts to back up in the drains. I myself have a house in Fort Lauderdale that my daughter's in, and last week it rained so bad that the lift station never came on, and it came up into the back of the bathrooms on the whole neighborhood, which obviously you can say that was a mess. But I will say that, now is the time to get these sewer lines cleaned and cameraed, all under, Prevent Plumbing and Gerald and his brother, Brian.
Yeah, and we have other companies that will come behind. If you have roots in your sewer system and another company has confirmed that, and they say, "Oh, I sent the snake through there and cut them out," they did nothing for you. Those roots, those feeder roots, will grow back in a matter of several weeks. And so, by doing so, they say, "Well, we jetted them out or we cut them out." That is not the solution, because that is temporary. That is basically you writing the open check, because there's going to be no warranty on that backup. There's no plumbing company that's going to give you a warranty on a backup. If they do, they're a fool for doing it, because you haven't alleviated the situation by snaking or jetting it. There is still another underlying issue there that has to be addressed. And so a lot of these companies will go out and they have these cutter heads, and that's the first thing they do is they cut out the roots and they say, "You're good to go. It's opened back up. We cut all the roots away and sent them down the line." The roots have still got a penetration through that pipe somewhere. That's how they originated there in the first place. And those little feeder roots will only take a matter of weeks before they're back in there again. And they're grabbing paper, holding paper back, which stacks up over time. And that's where you get your issue. Have them cambered. And if there's an issue and you're needing somebody to camera it, have them give you a video of it, or watch them while they camera it and let them show you where the area is that's faulty. We have a locator, so we can get you down to a 1.5 inch area of exactly where that's at, and tell you exactly how far and how much has to be removed to repair pipe. We've got that down to a science. We're not going to just say, "Oh, this whole 70-foot section of pipe, I can take out just a small portion by cameraing it and finding out if you have bellies, root invasions, or improper pipe somewhere, and go ahead and get that fixed." Not, the whole length of it will redo your whole sewer line. That's not always the case. Sometimes you can just do a repair on a short section of it. So, like I said, if you do have a company come out, they do find you do have a root invasion, and they go through there and they snake it, and with the cutter head, and they say, "Oh, well, you good to go," or they jet it with what's called like a warthog nozzle, and they blast them out. That is not your final solution, because those roots will be back. They're going to seek that water. That there's already a hole in that pipe, a break somewhere in there, and they're going to seek that water out, and they're going to grow back, and they're going to cause that to back up again. So you're just throwing money down the drain, literally, by doing that.
Yeah, it's basically just giving it a haircut, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Juan got a second haircut. That's why he's all happy.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bowl cut like Brian's a couple of weeks ago, but that's okay. Gerald was giving him those away.
Yeah, that was free. So I won't charge nothing for the bowl cut.
It's a good thing Brian's not here to protect himself right now, right? Well, listen, over at Prevent Plumbing, Gerald, what's that phone number?
239-596-5533.
Gerald was talking, the audience is listening. If you take pavers and you look at the pavers, and after a few weeks of rain coming down, a lot of times grass will pop up between the pavers. And a lot of times I see trees growing up out of my pavers. It's the same exact symptoms in a pipe in the ground. When an oak tree is growing towards the sewer line, it penetrates the plastic, cast aluminum, or cast iron, whatever it's penetrating. Just because they cut it off doesn't mean it's not going to grow back. And that's part of what Gerald's explaining, is that if you go and get this, jetted by the, what is it called, Gerald? What'd you call it, a warthog?
No, yeah, I mean, there's different kinds of fittings, but if that happens, that's something that it's just a temporary fix.
And what he's meaning in the sense of that is just that you could cut that root out, and 6 weeks later that root could have grown back and then stopped the paper from flushing or whatever's going down.
Yeah,
So-
that's not a good thing.
Yeah, you're back to square one 6 weeks later. So some of the things that we're understanding nowadays is that a lot of the times when the pipe is being penetrated, we want to get it right through where the point Gerald just said. Within a foot, 2 foot of distance. Cut that section out, and then remove it. Put a new piece in. Correct.
That's right.
And so again, I want to urge the audience to understand that rooting and cameraing and jetting all these pipes now is going to save you hundreds if you don't get it done, especially if they back up.
Yeah, and then don't do like the guy did. I spoke with a while back. I spoke to everybody about. He had an issue where he had a septic tank. The septic tank was decommissioned, and they ran it to the city sewer, and the fitting was actually 8 inches below the line going to the city sewer. So all this paper, everything had to have pressure from the house to push it uphill. And he called out another company, a very nationally recognized company. I mean, this is a national company who has franchises in every state and every town. And they told him, no, you just have to add another clean out. That is not the solution. Another clean out is the same thing as a blank check. I mean, all they're going to do is give themselves an easier point to get into the line to just snake it or jet it or whatever they're going to do to free it up the clog. But they did not fix the problem. All they did was free up a clog.
And not to say it, you said it a minute ago. I mean, uphill, right? I mean, have you ever seen toilet water flow uphill?
Not until it gets really bad and most of the house is flooded.
And that means, sense of all of it, it should have probably been on a lift station at some point. Something
Well,
to pump it up.
that was my estimate to them, was right there where that portion was to put a lift station right there to pump it on out, because, I mean, 8 inches is a lot. I mean, people don't think about that, but if you're pushing solids and paper 8 inches up, that is a lot right there, and you don't realize it.
That's a lot. It's almost a foot.
Yeah, I mean, that's to have it happen
roller
like that.
coaster ride
That
for
means that there's going to be so much water and everything left in that line.
Well, as the audience listening, it's not a roller coaster ride. It's an uphill ride.
It's uphill, right?
Sometimes we're all on an uphill ride, but Gerald is making sense for any of you out there getting ready to line some of these sewer lines. Give Prevent a call. I mean, and they'll come out. I mean, give you a free estimate if you want. Actually, probably give you an estimate over the phone if you want to get, sewer line cleaned and a camera, right, Gerald?
Yeah, I mean, we're upfront about our pricings. You can call. There's no trip charge, no service charge. It's just a flat hourly rate, and then you're good to go.
And what's that phone number, Joe?
239-596-5533.
Well, like I said, this is a big important part of what was going on with the COVID. Everybody being in a home for approximately, probably, what is it, 3 months now? Was that right?
I think about that.
March,
Around
April,
there.
May, June, 3 months. That's a lot of toilet paper being used that I couldn't find on the shelf. So I want you guys to think about it, because it is important to understand that all that toilet paper you guys bought off the shelf went somewhere. Or if you got some for sale, call me. I'm going to need a roll of two. But, again, I mean, Gerald, what's that phone number of Prevent Plumbing?
239-596-5533.
5533. I'm sure you guys give Gerald and Brian a call. They'll be more than happy. Make sure you announce them on. You've heard us on the American Tradesman Show, right, Juan?
Yep.
You've been hearing a lot of that for the last few weeks, right, Juan?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, an important part of all of it is you're hearing a lot about the lockout kits that we keep selling.
Yes, a lot of feedback on that.
Well, that's important because we want people to understand about those lockout kits. This is a UL listed part. Yes. And that means underwritten laboratory. And what that meant is that we can use this on any electrical panel, any style. Well, I want to rephrase that. Federal Pacific.
We're purchasing the specified interlock kit for the panel that you have, and it is UL listed. So it's per code, National Electrical Code as well. So no worries on that end.
And you can tie any generator into it as a portable side.
On a portable side, up to 50 amps.
Up to 50 amps. And it gives you most of the power for the home on 240 volts.
Yes.
You know, a lot of these generators that they're supplying, we talked about 12 kW one,
12 kW.
and it's electric start.
Electric start 12 kW. 12 kW is the magic number that we want to try to hit. And the reason why I'm saying that is, 12 kW is going to push you out 50 amps. And like I said, that's going to be the maximum for the interlock kit and the 50 amp inlet. That's that magic number we try to hit. As the generator specified that we like to specify, is going to be a 15 kW, which is 15,000 watts starting and peak, and then 12,000 running.
So, in a sense of all of it, I know a lot of people want to say this, but on an electric, gas-operated portable generator, can I run my ACs?
It depends. You'll be able to run an AC around to 2.5 ton, but you're going to have to be very careful on what all that you power up in your home at that time.
How you manage it, correct?
You're going to have to manage it, exactly.
Now, the other thing we do suggest is that we can buy a window shaker or a
portable AC, a window shaker, a portable AC. So here's the key, guys, is that, the overall goal is to have power in your home for you and your family, to put in a window shaker, to purchase a portable AC, that way you're not left in the dark. We do have other options as standby generators, that would do everything automatically for you. But, we can cater to all sizes.
And it's important, again, to say this. I mean, that window shaker will take up any AC unit window. I mean, any window for an AC unit that's, small. So say you didn't want to run the AC unit, you could plug it into a regular outlet in the bedroom.
Regular outlet. So the way this is going to work is that, with the interlock kit, we are actually powering up the electrical panel in your home, whether that be inside your laundry room, that be inside your garage. We're powering that up. At the time of installation, our technicians will be guiding you on what circuit breakers that we'll have to turn off. Reason being because of the high consumption amperage or that they consume. An example, your range. That's a very high amperage request out of a portable generator. So, but the way around that is you can use a microwave, you can use a barbecue grill, you can get a hot plate. And I say, this is all part of, your hurricane kit. Everyone stores water. Everyone stores dry foods, flashlights, batteries. These are one of the things that you want to add to your kit, which is a hot plate. You plug that into a normal outlet in your kitchen, and you can cook.
Yeah. Again, I want the audience to understand, if we have another hurricane like Irma a few years back, don't put yourself in a position not to have something to back up, because 3 weeks, 4 weeks without power could very well be happening again. And if it does, you're going to be in a situation where gasoline could become a problem. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we offer with the generator, it's dual, correct one?
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
We can do a dual fuel.
So that means that you could be propane or gasoline.
Or gasoline.
And that's very, very important to know, that chasing down gas cans and fuel for gas is a very hard thing during a hurricane.
Yes.
And to find a 5-gallon propane tank up at Circle K or 7-Eleven is not hard.
Not hard at all.
And I see a lot more tanks at Home Depot, Lowe's, so you can get propane filled anywhere pretty much once that happens.
Just about every gas station, big box store. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think I've seen them at like Walgreens.
They could be.
I think I've seen them at Walgreens too. They're pretty much everywhere, but it's one of those things to where you see them, you don't really, it doesn't really register, but they're literally everywhere.
And again, understand that the generator being dual, running off of gas or propane, is something that, is important for, a homeowner to know. They don't have to store gasoline for the next 3 months, 4 months and never use it. And a lot of times people will pour gas into their generator last year and then never start it up during this year, go to start it up, and the generator won't start because it's got gum from the gasoline.
It's gummed up. The ethanol in the fuel eats up the fuel lines. Fuel that may have been left over in the carburetor is gummed up, and you're just running into a whole different issue there. With the propane, it's a lot cleaner. It burns cleaner. You don't have to worry about that. And the plus side of it is, if your tanks go low, you'll just go to a local, propane distributor and have them filled up.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff in Naples where you can go and fill up propane tanks all over the place. Mm-hmm. So again, I mean, what's the phone number at American Electrical One?
That's 239-353-4389.
And the email address?
Shoot us an email at frontdesk@AmericanElectricalService.net. And just to kind of help you guys out, if you're looking to get into a generator interlock kit, we can do the generator interlock kits. We can give you a proposal on a portable generator, turnkey install, the interlock kit, the inlet, the cord, the generator. Also, with a surge protector.
With the surge protector.
With a surge protector.
So they're going to get the generator. They're going to get, I guess, assume this is a dual. Was this a dual? Or
This is a dual.
It's going to dual. They'll also get the lockout kit that they manage their electrical panel.
Yes.
And, I mean, obviously the generator itself, which is Generac or what?
It's Duramax.
Duramax. So we're using a Duramax generator, 12 kW.
12 kW.
And like I said, it's a dual propane and gas. I would suggest highly to give American Electrical a call, not because I know them well and because I own part of the company, but I would suggest highly to give them a call because I can tell you right now, we are starting to get booked up, right, Juan?
We're starting to get booked up. The word has gotten out. I'm getting the phone calls. I'm at this point, Anthony, I'm ordering kits, daily. As they come in, because I'm trying to make sure that I get this progress, these things in fast enough for everyone. If you're interested, give us a call. Shelby will talk to you. Shoot us an email. Shelby will correspond with you. What we ask is send us some photos. That way I can take a look at it. If there's any questions, I'll get back to you, and then we'll get the ball rolling.
Yeah, the lockout kits are going fast, and I know that it's taken more and more time to get these in stock. We are having some of them shipped to us to have in stock on our own vehicles. But I will say this clearly. If you are on the fence, right, Juan,
Yeah.
and you are thinking that you need to get this, I would not hesitate any longer. We are coming into the second week of June, and I will tell you that these last few days have been roasted ducks.
Oh, yeah.
It has been hot. And that means that probably the tropicals, the way the water is raining, we're already seeing things coming out of the south from Mexico. I would definitely be clear to get yourself prepared. This is generator season, and I got to tell you, be prepared for a hurricane because we just went through 6 weeks or 6 months of COVID and now other things going on personally. I would suggest highly not be the person for 2020 to have a storm come in and then not have power for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Let's be generator ready. Let's do that. That's your hashtag for the day is generator ready. And that's us installing an interlock kit for you. If you decide you want to get a generator as well at that moment, we can go over that. Or if you're interested in a standby generator, an automatic standby generator that'll turn on, turn off, by itself with a propane tank in the ground, we can do that as well.
And that's something that stands alone by itself, starts up 14 seconds after the power goes out.
Yep.
And automatically services itself or runs itself once a week.
Yeah, once that's installed, it's just a maintenance that needs to be taken care of, and that's it.
Oil change. That's
Oil
it.
change, just like you do in your car.
Just like you do. Well, I mean, sometimes we do it in our car. Sometimes I find out about 6 weeks after it's supposed to have been done. But, it's important for the audience to understand. Call American Electrical. Ask for Juan or Shelby. What's the phone number, Juan?
Yeah, give us a call at 239-353-4389 or give us an email at frontdesk@AmericanElectricalService.net.
That's right, AmericanElectricalService.net. And I got to say, if you want Juan, you just put Juan in front of that, and he'll get an email too.
Yep.
So, again, audience has got to pay attention to the generator stuff now. We are preparing. We have been preparing for the last 4 weeks for generators. We are now starting in the process for permitting for some of these standalones. And I will tell you, it's been a little difficult, Juan, for the generators.
Exactly. The question I get asked majority of the time is, how long does this take? What is the process? And the process, what I normally explain to my clients is, well, we're going to provide you the proposal. Once the proposal's awarded, then, we'll start the permitting process. And at this moment, I do let them know, depending on what the generators are looking at the moment. Currently, right now, we're seeing a back order of 2 weeks. But that doesn't mean anything, because at this point, when we push in permitting, I get in line for the generator. By the time a permit comes out, a generator is available. So that's within 2 to 3 weeks of us pushing forward for a permit, getting a permit within 2 to 3 weeks later, and a generator's there. Once we have that permit in hand, we're good to go. That is our green light to go ahead for an install.
It's funny that you say that, because I do see a lot of commercials where they can put it up in a week.
I don't see how that happens.
See how it happens unless it's not being pulled a permit. But again, I'm not the guy standing there saying this, so I won't say that. But it is going to get tougher and tougher as the summers come into months, because we have to manipulate the gas company to put in the gas tank.
Mm-hmm.
They also have to have a permit drawings for that. Depending on your location, anything west of Airport Road is called flood elevation, which is probably 5 foot higher than what your garage door is, basically. So we have to be careful with flood elevation. And then obviously from an electrical standpoint, we have to have an engineered set of drawings for the generator itself.
And this is all that we take care of all of these things. There's nothing that, of course, we may ask you if you do have a survey in hand. If not, we work around it. But these are all the things that we take care of.
Well, again, I mean, if anybody's out there looking for a generator, a lockout kit. Last week, Juan, I beat you down a little bit to get that surge protected bullet in there.
Yeah, you did.
I know the lockout kit is something that we had a price on, and you gave a good price on it. I want people to understand that lockout kit is part of what we're trying to explain to you. You will need. I don't care if you buy a generator on the corner when the power goes out. I can plug that generator into that plug.
Exactly. If you're from Florida, you've seen them before. The trucks come down. You got a big white box truck. They park at a Walmart. They park somewhere, and they say, hey, everybody, come by. They open up their back gate, and they say, I got generators for sale. It happens. Whether it comes from Miami or wherever it comes from somewhere from north, someone picks up a generator. But what we're trying to push here and say here on the radio station is, let's get you ready for that generator when you purchase down the line, or you purchase from us.
Oh, that's right. Or you buy the generator for us. So again, Juan, what's that phone number?
239-353-4389.
239-353-4389. Call American Electrical, and Juan and Shelby will take care of you. It's important to understand, again, that generator lockout kit comes with a free surge protector.
Yes.
Gerald, you see how his face went? Ladies and gentlemen, he did cringe a little bit when I said free, but, we want you to understand that lockout kit is the most important part of all of this that we're talking about. The surge protection is a plus for you on your own home when you do get a surge, which happens quite often when power companies shut off and come back on. And that's part of what, we're going to try to help you with, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
You won't notice it as much without the surge protector, but when you do get the surge protector, you'll notice how often it does happen.
That's right. That's when you notice it.
Is when you do get the surge protector. Otherwise, you just think, well, for some reason the TV went out. It is 4 years old. It wasn't the TV that went out. It was the surge that went through there and popped the TV.
That's right. That's right. So, again, American Electrical, 239-353-4389. Call Juan and Shelby over there. And that lockout kit is something that the audience needs to invest in. If you're in Southwest Florida, in Cape Coral, Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, Lehigh Acres, Immokalee, Naples, Marco Island, Everglades City. Did I miss something?
If you're a Floridian, let's be honest here. If you're a Floridian, you need to have some sort of backup power.
Yeah,
You got to have it.
I have went to in the last few weeks several customers, and the first thing out of their mouth was, "I am not going to wait 3 weeks again for power."
Yeah.
And understand something from a mold expert, Gerald. It don't take very long for mold to start.
No,
once the house.
if your power goes out, or I should say, if your electricity goes out, if you decide to run your home with no AC, it does not take very long for that humidity to build up in there, and you're going to end up with a microbial issue. It's just no doubt about it. the weather here and the factors, it's going to pile up fast.
Yeah, when you see the rain so much in the afternoons, it's because it's coolness coming into the heat, and then your windows become fogged. The next thing you know, people don't realize that all that sweat is going where? Right on the walls, pictures, everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you don't have some kind of protection for dehumidification inside the home and some kind of backup to run in your house, I will say you will have worse situations than COVID, because you probably would end up with COVID and other, bacterial.
I mean, just like you said, I remember, I think it was this past weekend or the weekend before. I woke up in the morning, I walk out at 7, and I look at I have glass front doors, and they're just condensation. It's on the outside, because how cool my house is. I cranked down my AC down to 73, but yeah.
That's almost like having a heater on in my house.
I was just going to say, you must not have women problems, because I can tell you, mine's a 65. Well, I can't get it there, but I got 65.
Well, I fight for 73.
Yeah. I fight for 60.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that condensation is on the outside, but, I have an AC running on the inside, and I'm sure Gerald can chime in on this. If you cut the AC off, where's that humidity going to start building up?
On the inside.
On the inside.
And that temperature difference, and you'll see it a lot, especially with people who are part-time residents. When they're here, 72 degrees. When they leave, a lot of them say, I'll crank it up to 78, 80 degrees. Yep. Anything above 76 degrees, you're starting a very dangerous path there, and especially for that temperature to do like that in a matter of 2 days. So if you go, 8 degrees difference and 10 degrees difference in 2 days, then you really do put a lot of stress on the moisture buildup in your home, and that's something you have to be very careful of. And a lot of the newer thermostats, the smart thermostats, they will have a humidity dial on there. While it does not control the humidity, it will show you your relative humidity in your house. Learn about that. Google it. Learn about it. If you don't have one in there, you can pick up a humidity dial anywhere, that you can hang on a wall that will tell you how much humidity is in your home. And that is key to making sure that you don't end up with, and I've seen it in so many condos, especially, some of the older generation loves to put it at 78 degrees in their house and keep it there. That is a very dangerous line to walk, because of the fact that, humidity can build up. And I've seen it where a guy was renting it out to an older gentleman. When the guy moved out, every wall in the place, doors included, was covered in a surface mold, and that was because of the temperature in the inside of the unit. And it's one of those deals where you can't wipe down the outside. You're gonna have to tear that drywall out. It's infested. Same thing with those wood doors. Tear them out, throw them out. The carpet, if it's salvageable, it's salvageable. If not, it has to come out. I mean, those are factors you have to take into consideration.
A lot of times I think people don't recognize, but Juan said something earlier about the moisture on the windows. If you wake up in the morning and you see all the moisture on the windows, that's exactly what the walls, and I say walls, the block walls, are going to have on it, moisture. And if it's on a block wall, most likely there's some kind of thermal fin or some foil for insulation. That's all going to get, wet.
Trapped in there.
And, again, I am the fan to tell you, find some way to dehumidify your home with moisture during these times of outages, because you're going to have issues. And, it's a no-brainer to say this again. The lockout kit is a very important part of the process. And that part I am trying to enforce before we run out of them and can't find enough of them.
Yeah, this is something that, we kind of started, maybe 8 weeks ago, maybe even further back. About, letting you guys know that now is the time to start looking into getting a generator prepared with the interlock kits, with standby generators, because, this is not our first rodeo. We've seen the wave come before, and we try to get, you guys on the wagon, early. That way you get your spots.
Again, I say this, it is important to understand that this is my urgency to let you know that I feel in my blood that it's probably going to be a hurricane season. Look at what we got going through up for this tropical storm, right? Yep. So be aware. Call Juan over to American Electrical. What's that phone number, Juan?
Yeah, guys, give me a call at 239-353-4389. I appreciate your calls. I appreciate the feedback. I'm getting a lot of feedback from you guys listening to the station, listening to the show. You guys are giving me a call. I appreciate you guys. And, if you have any questions, like I said, call me. Shelby will direct you to me, or, she'll give you an email. You just send over whatever questions you have. I'm be more than happy to talk to you through it.
Now, that interlock kit, you can install that anywhere?
So we have to install that at the main breaker, for your home.
Well, I got an old Ford pickup truck. It ain't got no AC, and I got a window unit. Can I get that installed and a generator put in the bed of it so I can run that AC?
I'm pretty sure I could put a window shaker in there somewhere.
Did you say Ford?
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
Coming from 2 Ford drivers.
Yep, I can't say too much. I'm just going to keep my mouth out of that one. Juan, I mean, it's just a little story that Juan has on me right now, but it's okay. Well, listen, again, the audience needs to pay attention to what we're talking about. This is a lockout kit. Earlier, Gerald talked about, running that running a jet line, right, to make sure that all that toilet paper you guys have been using for the last few weeks and months is going to be cleaned out. And the camera, right?
Yep.
Gerald? So, audience, understand, I'm enforcing some of the things during the rainy season because this is when we see sewers and septic tanks back up, and a lot of times, infiltration of trees coming into roots or into drains, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm putting a call out to the people in Cape Coral. I've gotten, calls from LaBelle. I've gotten calls from here in Naples. I've gotten calls from Lehigh. No one from Cape Coral. You guys keep in mind, if you are in a well system, that power goes out, you are out of water. Your septic is down.
Yeah, it's important to understand you're on a well system or septic system. You have no water, no toilets, and I'll tell you what, you'll be using a lot of buckets coming out of the pool if you got one.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is about the time, Gerald, we have a shout out. I mean, it's a shout out for some of the smaller companies. We are small companies in Southwest Florida, American Contracting, as myself. If you have any emails or questions, feel free to call me at 239-719-1789. That's 239-719-1789. American Contracting Services. Michelle, my assistant, will be more than happy to take any information, or if you have a small remodel, or you even have questions on, doing an estimate, a second opinion, I can take care of that all for you. So again, give us a call at 239-719-1789, or email me at anthony@americancontractingservices.net. Or you can email me at ac@theamericantrades.com. That's ac@theamericantrades.com. That's part of the American Tradesman Show. If you need to email me with any questions, or if you want questions for somebody on the board, that panel that we have here for Juan or Gerald or Brian, and you have questions in the plumbing or the contracting or electrical side, email me. I'll be more than happy to answer them and then put you on the radio with those questions. And Gerald, I wanted to kind of move over to a shout out. Gerald is giving shout outs to a lot of people this year. And one of them, I'm sure he's getting ready to, is give him a shout out, Gerald.
Okay, so this week we're going to give out a shout to Bill over there at Abbott Hill Cabinetry. We work with them, great guys over there. If you guys have any needs for cabinetry, tile, flooring, anything like that, give them a call.
And what's the phone number, Joe?
Their phone number over there is 239-260-5246.
And again, these shout outs are small companies, subcontractors like Alex. Alex is a recording studio. He's a small guy out here, but he's our producer for our radio show. So shout out to Alex. And
Alex.
Alex is preoccupied on a daily basis, but he's a good man.
Yeah, he's part of the show. He's just in the back. He's like the Wizard of Oz behind the drapes.
And he just laughs at us anyway. So. Juan, what's your shout out today?
You know what? I'm going to give a shout out to over at Reliable Permitting. They're the company that we use to pull our permits, and they are responsive. Even if I've got an emergency permit, something that goes down really quick, whether it be on a commercial building, a residential home, where people are out, FP&L shuts them down. I ask for photos really quick. I do my notes, get everything together, and I shoot it over to them, and they get me my permits, really quick. They do all the legwork for me, and they just make it very, very, very easy. And again, like I'm saying, it's reliable permitting. So if you have any, permits that you may need to pull, you can give them a call at 239-260-5246. 234-2578, and you can speak to Shalonda.
Yeah, Shalonda, I've known her since she was 15 years old. She, was a boy that I took care of as a young boy, and I raised him to get into high school and went to college and played football. And Shalonda's her brother, and I can only say Shalonda's been around me for a long time. She's definitely reputable, and a person that what is it? What is her logo, or what's her tagline?
Reliable permitting.
Well,
Yeah, I can give you that really quick. I don't know her tagline by heart, but I'll give you that here in a bit.
Something about Queen and Permit Queen.
Yeah.
But give Shalonda a call, because I got to tell you, she can get permits done. And a lot of times we do refer Shalonda to homeowners to doing the permitting for a lot of things.
Yep. So her tagline is, the permit process is effortless with the permit queen on your team.
Shalonda, I hope you heard that out there. You'll need to get up at almost 6:45 to Saturday morning to listen to that. But you need to get up. Tell Jimmy to wake you up, because I know Jimmy ain't going to wake you up. But you tell Jimmy to wake you up, Shalonda, and we love you. And again, Reliable Permitting, they are probably the best permitting company in town that we know of.
Yeah, they're great. Christina, Francisco, her team is just great.
Yeah, and again, these are small subcontractors out there just trying to make their own way in the world. And again, you can help them out, like Gerald said. And how we do it numerous weeks on promoting some of the smaller companies in Southwest Florida. And again, for American Electrical, Prevett Plumbing, and B&K Water Extraction and Mold Services, we are here to help you. You can give us a call. Gerald, what's the phone number?
239-596-5533. We can answer questions over the phone. We can come to you to take a look at it, see what there's any way to help you. There's so much we can do to help you. It's not always just about gaining, a service from you and making you pay for it. So, if you do have questions, if you do want to know how to do processes, what's the best approach to it, that's all free.
And that's something a lot of times people will just say to you, let us set up a service call, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of times I can only say, I won't say it too much, but I did buy a sleep number, right, Juan? I bought a sleep number bed, and I got to tell you, I will say, if Sleep Number's listening to the radio show, I love your bed. I really do. I didn't really happy about when they said to me, well, you don't get a warranty on it. You have to pay by the hour because your bed's not in sync. I had to go do my own in syncing with my Wi-Fi in my bed to tell me why it wasn't blowing up right. But I got to tell you, Sleep Number is a good bed. I'm not going to promote them, but I do know one thing. I called them on the warranty, and they said, oh, it's $120 an hour. So I thought about myself and tried to figure it out myself.
Yeah, I just say that thing is very heavy.
Yeah, I will tell you, though, it tracks my body, my blood pressure. I do know when I'm not sleeping. It tells me how long I slept, and I can tell you it gets up 2 hours, 3 hours. I can see when I go to the bathroom, when I don't go to the bathroom. So I will tell you that it is a good bed. But again, service calls are based on a lot of people trying to sell you something, and I see sometimes that small amount to get you out there, that real small amount.
Really, really small amount.
Like an amount just to kind of chase you out there to charge you $200 after you've gotten there.
I think that's what you call it. You start dingling the shrimp.
It's called the bait and switch.
Bait
That's
and
really
switch.
what it's called. The bait and
Almost had it.
Yeah. You know what almost counts in, right? Horseshoes and hand grenades, baby. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Well, again, Gerald, you guys are promoting some of the things we talked about. The liner we talked today, and I'm not going to knock the liner. I mean, it work in some cases, it won't in some others. But I can tell you, in the case that you guys had, it wasn't really working.
Well, it's a temporary solution, period. You still have a decaying pipe. A liner will not stand alone and drain your plumbing, so it is a decaying pipe. It is a temporary solution, and that's going to be key.
Yeah, understanding, again, I've heard over the years that a lot of times they've gone bad, and that's part of what I heard past. I was kind of thought it was kind of the cat's meow, I guess you could say, when you did have a break in the pipe.
If it's ever installed incorrectly, and that happens quite frequently, there is no repair after that because the liner's permanent. So, if it's not done correctly, then, what's going to happen is that you're going to end up with something that now you're going to have replaced with PVC regardless.
Kind of relating to this or that and the electrical side, when I go out and I see, existing applications to where, galvanized, conduit was used, for equipment grounds, and it was buried, you know, and I understood the concept, but, you know, just thinking longevity, you know, the soil, the moisture, the water, the rain, it was just going to eat it up over time, you know. And on our side, you know, we know that you know, grounding is the most important thing of an electrical system. And, you know, to see conduits that are just rusted out and bare wires being exposed, I mean, that's just because it's always at the point where it's exiting the ground, you know, and it's free air. But, you know, in cast, you know, iron that's buried in the ground, I don't know, what, 4 feet, you know, and sitting there in moisture all the time, I could only imagine how
what grows in it.
what grows in it, or just how thick the walls are, you know, and it's not going to last. So at the end of the day, you know, when, you know, it's being pitched to you, well, we can line the inside of the cast pipe. Well, what about the outside? You know, you can camera the inside, but what about the outside? How do you really know how thick that wall is? You don't.
And more importantly, and this is what I said last week, is that you changed the OD or the ID of the diameter inside the pipe once you spray this foam in or spray the liner in, which makes the pipe even smaller, which in my opinion makes it out of code, right?
Correct.
So, you know, it's important to understand from the audience standpoint, get those drains cleaned, get that camera stuck in there. I mean, when I say stuck in there, I'm not talking about Brian, I'm talking about Gerald. And if you guys are understanding about the lockout kits, Juan, I keep enforcing the lockout kits. It's important to get that lockout kit in before this summer is up, so you understand by July and August and September that you do have some kind of backup power prepared.
Yeah, so, you know, going back to, you know, the turnkey, what we're trying to do here is I'm trying to get a package together for you guys for, you know, the interlock kit, the generator inlet, a generator cord, and a gas generator. All one, just, you don't have to think about it. You just call me and we'll get it all in for you.
And the main breaker. Don't forget the main breaker for that generator.
Yeah, the breaker for the generator, you know, all in one piece, you know, for $4,300.
That's and Juan, what'd you say?
43.
Gerald?
I see that look in
Before the
Anthony's
game is
eye.
over, before the show's over, Alex is telling me, cut it. Gerald's
on,
looking,
Alex.
look at Alex is looking over for a different
Come on,
discount.
Alex.
So again, $4,300. Juan, can you take 10% off that price? Ooh, this is like Price is Right or something.
Dude, I'm pulling out my calculator.
He's got his ears smoking. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to make it happen. You call Juan over to American Electrical.
I'll do it for 38.70. 38.50. 38.50 we'll do it.
Call Juan, call Shelby, 239-353-4389. Now, and Gerald, what's that phone number at Brevet Plumbing?
239-596-5533.
And what's that number at B&K?
239-398-9834.
Juan, what's the phone number to get those lockout kits in?
Lockout kids, give us a call at 239-353-4389. If you want to get a generator turnkey for $38.50, give us a call again. 239-353-4389.
Southwest Florida, you stay safe. God bless America.